what's the story, everybody? Team Chainblock coming at you with yet another deck profile. And before we get into it, please check the links in the descriptions and go over to Kong's Cards and use our discount code Chainblock5 for all the up and coming amazing products and cards in Cyberstorm Access.
Big new set, big discounts.
All you super
make some money, guys.
All you super heavy samurai fans, I'm sure that's why you're getting it. But yeah, what are we playing, Sean? Really popular deck.
So this is my take on Swordsoul. There's only so much different you can do with this deck, but I'm happy with the ratios. I've been playing the deck a long time. We've actually recorded it about twice before now. Just hasn't gone up, you know.
Sean's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, you did just say you're happy with the ratios.
Yes.
Okay, go.
Yeah. Okay. For once.
For once. Okay.
So 3 Incredible Ecclesia. It tributes for cost summon any card from deck, and you can special it for free if your opponent controls more monsters than you. Very, very good. Also, it's a tuner, which can come up, especially if they like pop your tokens or something. It's good. It's just a good card.
There's a reason it was
summons
like
anything.
€80 not too long ago.
3 Moye, Heart and Soul of the deck. Reveal a Swordsoul card or a worm in hand, summon a token. When it's used as synchro material, draw a card. What more can you say? It's good.
I'm just waiting for them to just release more busted worms. I think they're afraid to now.
I hope they do. I hope they do. 3 Long One. Makes a level 10 synchro, burns for 12. Good card.
I was going to say, is this the burn? Yeah.
Okay. It's also relevant in this build in particular that he himself is a level 6.
Oh, okay, right.
Yep. 2 Swordsoul Ataya, banish 1 from grave, summon a token. It can send a Swordsoul card or a worm from deck to grave when it's used as synchro material. It's a wind which comes up. Also just good. Means you can summon 2 level 8s in the same turn.
Konami, give us our Swordsoul tokens. These are taking too long.
1 Abyss Dragon.
New card.
This one's new. It's really good, actually. So this is usually what you send off your Tayo, or you can even add it off your YuGiOh if you're feeling that. It's really good for pushing damage going second.
Right.
And then also, if it's special summoned and there's a card in the field zone, right? Either player's field.
Okay,
right?
That's very relevant.
You can banish any card in the field zone and 1 monster your opponent controls or in their grave on summon.
Ooh.
And it's a 3k body. It's a level 8. It's just good.
So just on summon.
Yeah, and it summons itself whenever a monster is banished by card effect. And that doesn't have to be from the field. So, for example, your YuGiOh negates by banishing a worm. You can summon this.
That's pretty funny.
Anything like that. It's a good card. 3 Emergence. This is an even better card. It adds any Swordsoul. If you control a synchro monster, you can add any worm instead. And if it's banished, you can target a Swordsoul or worm monster you control, increase or decrease its level by 1. That's actually super relevant for certain cards in the extra.
Okay.
And then 1 Sacred Summit does the same thing when it's banished, and it targets a Swordsoul monster in your grave, or if you control a synchro monster, it can target any worm, special summon it.
Fair.
So it's just Monster Reborn that's searchable. It's good. Does the banish thing.
Does a lot.
And then 2 Blackout. It's Icarus Attack. Target a worm you control and 2 cards your opponent controls, destroy them. And then if it's banished, and this is the reason I play 2, if it's banished, you can summon 1 of the tokens.
Cool.
By the way, all of these summon the same type of token. They're Swordsoul tokens. They're a Worm Tuner, level 4. They're water. And while they're in the monster zone, the person who summoned it can't special monsters from the extra except synchros.
Cool.
Which is like how they balance this deck, because it'd actually be insane otherwise. But it plays really well. It's got a really efficient resource loop. Very nice. Then obviously, like every build nowadays, it's bolstered by the Tenyi lineup, which is 3 Ashuna. All of these summon for free if you control no effect monsters. And then if you control a face-up non-effect monster while they're in the grave, they all have an effect by banishing themselves. So this one specials a Tenyi from deck.
Cool.
And then you can't special for the rest of the turn except worms, which does come up actually. So, it's a relevant lock.
The Tenyis are either special, your first special summon because you've no monsters, or if you control a token, isn't it?
So it's it's if you control no effect monsters. So if they pop the effect monster instead of the token, which is bad, they shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
But then 2 Vishuddha. This one's your going second one. These are both level 7, which comes up. So same summon condition, and then you can banish it and target a card your opponent controls. Return it to hand. So outs extra deck stuff. It's really good going second. And then 2 Adara.
Yeah.
This one's a level 1 tuner,
Ooh.
which you can use these to make.
Yeah, with any of them,
yeah. And then when you banish this one, you can target a banished worm, accept it, self, and add it to hand.
Cool.
Which is really good. You'll often use, for example, your YuGiOh negate.
Yeah.
You will banish like a card you want to add back, like a Longmon the next turn.
Yeah.
And then you'll use your Adara to get that back to hand, instead of like having to find a more convoluted way to recur from grave.
Cool.
Then you're going to see a lot of 2-ofs.
This is what
Let me explain my theory.
Right, okay.
So, firstly, this deck draws off Moye, it searches, you'll go, like, you'll thin your deck a lot.
Right.
And you have a very efficient resource loop, so you want to bolster it with hand traps,
Fair.
right? Because it's a pretty compact engine as well.
Yeah.
You don't want to draw hand traps that all do the same thing.
Fair.
Or that have a hard once per turn in the case of stuff like Ash.
Okay.
So there's a good few 2-ofs.
Yeah.
They'll do different things. The other thing is I'm playing the 2 Desires. Card is great in this deck. You're playing 3 of most of your engine anyway.
This is probably the reason why Desires was gone to 1 at one stage, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I'm playing a lot of 2-ofs. I just need to get it out of the way. I'm not a bozo. Don't laugh at me. Yeah.
I did say it beforehand. I knew it was coming.
So 2 triple tactics.
2.
Yep.
Yeah.
And 1 call by.
2 cut. What? Oh, sorry.
I wish. I wish. Anyways, this card is really good because you'll almost always get hit on your Moye.
Funny. We always say in our deck profiles that this is an absolute, and it's in every deck profile. It's a weird one. This
Yeah, I'm
format.
playing it in this
Yeah.
because you kind of like you only have a certain amount of resolutions per turn,
Yeah.
and you want to resolve them.
It really felt though at YCS London that like not a lot of people were playing it.
Well, I didn't play it in my deck.
There you go.
It was the first deck I didn't play it.
There you go.
I mean, the card is still great. It still does a lot. There's formats where it's less good.
Yeah, exactly. By that logic, Konami should bring the 3.
Agreed. Let me stop the draws.
Yeah.
3 Ash.
Why not 2?
I want to stop Branded Fusion.
Fair. Okay. Yeah.
It's the most versatile one. Yeah, it sucks to draw because this one, like multiples, because this one is hard once per turn.
Okay.
It's the one I made the exception for because I think it's the best one.
It's actually unreal. Like the fear on a branded player's face when they see it.
It's also just mandatory, this format. It does a lot into cash, it does a lot into branded, it does a lot into Labyrinth specifically. Labyrinth's main weakness is just that they can get ashed on their welcomes.
I know, yeah, it disappeared in tier format, but it's back now, 100%.
Okay, I swear these cards are good again. 2 Magnamut, 1 Druis Worm, 1 Baldrake.
Main deck? We main decking?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can make 6s with them by either level modulating the Tenyis or using a long one. They're good interruptions, they're big bodies, they're just good.
The token's a level 4 tuner as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so you can use these to make your 10 synchros as well if you want to.
That makes sense, yeah.
They're good, I swear.
Okay. No, they are.
They have a lot of really solid matchups.
I don't think they'd ever be bad.
Also, with the new Chaos Synchro and Mana Dome stuff coming out in Syak, they're going to be even better. 2 Nib.
2.
2 Imperm. 2.
Yeah.
These are good generic hand traps. I like them.
Yeah, they'll always be good.
Yeah. So that rounds out the main. It's 40. It's fine.
Is it 40?
It's either 40 or 41. I can't remember.
We'll go with it's a clean 40. If someone wants to count,
I hope.
Go for it.
2 YuGiOh. It's Rota or a Banish, and then it's a negate. It's the first thing you got into every turn. It's really good.
Somebody got really upset in the weekly giveaway I do in the channel that's always linked in our description when he said that this is the best Swordsoul synchro, and I said no, it's not. And he got really upset. I just wanted to see his reaction.
I would say it is the best. It's the one that does the most, you know?
Yeah.
Because you're not getting to the others without him. He fixes every hand.
See, my P-brain just automatically thought of Tenyi.
Shenying's good. 2 Baksha. This card's ridiculous going second. You make it off of... Usually you want to make it off the Taya.
Yeah.
Because that will be a wind and a water, which gives you 2 attributes. You make this and you shuffle 2 cards your opponent controls. And then once per turn you can target any card you control on a level 4 or lower in your grave. Destroy the card on the field, special the other from grave. Lets you do stuff with like dumping Moye to summon it back. Fixes hands, it's good.
And shuffling back is always so
Also,
nicer.
your Yangzing attributes actually matter for a card later on. So this is important for lights.
Okay, fair.
Draco Berserker, ridiculous going second.
Card.
And it gives you a second level 8 that's an interruption. It's not a negate, but it banishes a monster on the activation. So it's good.
People just let you summon this
But
and they think it's
going second, this card is a house.
Yeah.
It's 3k. It banishes a monster when it activates its effect, and then if it destroys an effect monster by battle, you can gain attack equal to the destroyed monster, and then make a second attack on a monster.
Yeah.
Which just beats the fields.
In itself is ridiculous.
Yazi. You will often make this off of, for example, like level modulating with one of the spells down from a Moye or a Taya. But you also pretty frequently will make it going second off a Bestial and an Ashuna.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So what this does is it targets a Yangzing you control, so itself, and a card your opponent controls, destroy it. And then when it's destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can special any worm monster from your deck.
That's awesome.
The other thing that's good about this is, again, Yangzing attributes matter. This is the best one. You will have to level modulate it, though.
Okay.
So I'm about to explain. Chao Fei. This is a level 9, and it says, while this Synchro Summon card is on the field, your opponent cannot activate effects of monsters with the same original attribute as the Yangzing monsters used for the Synchro Summon of this card.
Ooh.
So you can lock them out of either lights or darks using Baksha or Yazi.
They're pretty important.
Yazi especially, it makes it kind of difficult to make this.
Yeah.
But essentially what you do is you make this, and then you will level modulate a Adara up to 2, and then you'll make the 9.
Fair.
But it
Go.
right. So you use the 2 to make the Chao Fei after modulating it up, and it is probably the card I make the least. But it really justifies its spot. You have like 1 or 2 flex spots. You're playing the Yazi and the Baksha anyway, and just locking your opponent out of dark monster effects in particular is so strong. It justifies the effort. So then, massively underrated card, Kijing Longmon.
Yeah.
So if you synchro another worm while he's up, you draw a card, and then both of these effects are quick effect once per turn, but once each.
Cool.
So you get to use both. When your opponent specials a monster, you can banish it, burn them for 12. And when your opponent activates a spell, trap card, or effect, you can banish that and inflict 12. Really good. Helps you push for like burns.
Yeah.
Like if you get your opponent low enough but can't kill.
It's really nice when a deck has a winning time mechanic built into it.
For sure. Well, even main deck long one does that for us.
Exactly.
You can push like big life deficits in time though. And then the other thing about this is just like certain decks cannot do anything if you just like banish their starter as soon as they summon them.
Yeah.
Like especially like normal reliant decks tend to be very weak to that. Cheng Ying, Absolute House. People are playing that outside this deck.
Yeah.
So it gains 100 attack and defense, and your opponent's monsters lose 100 attack and defense for every banished card.
Yeah.
And then if it would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish a card from your grave instead. That's a replacement effect, so it doesn't activate. And then if a card is banished, you can banish a card each from your opponent's field and grave.
That's insane.
Very strong.
Yeah. There's a reason it's just generically dropped in so many decks nowadays.
Also, if you make this after resolving desires, your push for game is so much easier because everything is reduced by 1,000 and you gain plus 1,000. And this is another new card, Ice Jade Gimmer Aegoran. You make this with a Water Tuner, which all of your tokens are.
Yeah.
So quick effect, you can activate this. It's like a really unique type of interaction. Face-up monsters you control cannot be destroyed or banished by your opponent's card effects this turn.
It's really good.
But then if you activated it in response to your opponent's card or effect activation, and your opponent has a card with that name on their field or grave, you can banish all of those cards. And then if a card is banished by your opponent's card effect while this is in grave, you can special it.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's really, really strong. And it's such a unique effect and like type of protection that a lot of decks really don't have anything for it.
I think banish protection is overdue. There's just so much stuff that blindly banishes these days instead of destruction.
Oh, absolutely. Barone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No said.
So this is the other flex spot you really have. I like playing Wallow. I think it's the best generic rank 6, and you can make it off the Bestials, off your long one, off a level modulated Tenyi, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just good.
He also gets huge.
He does, yeah. If you have that and Cheng Ying, you are pushing for game. 2 Monk of the Tenyi, you got to play it. You can play 3. I haven't found it super necessary, and I'd rather have the flex spots.
Not standard.
And then 1 Shaman comes up. It's not great, but it comes up. Then tokens, Konami printed Swordsoul ones.
Might as well. Yeah, here you go.
Yep. So, siding, 3rd mag. Third imperm.
Sided in 2 1-offs, the ratios, guys.
Third nib.
Oh my god.
2 rivalry.
Fair.
2 D barrier.
Fair.
Change of heart.
Fair.
Duster.
Yeah.
2 cyclone.
That's-
Gamma package.
We're squeezing it all in. That is the strangest side deck I think I've seen in terms of ratios.
It's fine. It does what it needs to. You just kind of change out your ratios for a lot of things. I'm pretty happy with the main, so you don't really need anything very particular in the side.
Yeah, I mean, Cosmics are probably better than most Destruction spell and trap removal at this stage because of Runics, unfortunately.
For sure.
But yeah, happy with that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
So yeah, again, please check out our links in the description. Use our discount code Chainblock5 again. Cyberstorm Access is coming up. And
get your singles cheap, boys.
exactly. See you.